Hello everyone and welcome back to another BeamNG Drive video. Before we jump into today's update, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. The support on the last video was amazing and I'm truly blown away by all the likes, views and comments. It means so much to know that all of you enjoyed the content and your feedback really motivates me to keep creating these videos. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. This game really is the gift that keeps on giving. It seems like the devs have been working non-stop and they've delivered another fantastic update packed with quality of life changes, vehicle updates and much needed improvements. So here we are with another big update, version 0.33.3, and today's video is all about what's new, what's been tweaked and how these changes enhance our experience in BeamNG Drive. Before we dive into the more exciting features, let's quickly touch on some of the minor fixes. Update 0.33.3 brings several smaller adjustments, like fixes to the reverse light flares on the newly released Gavril MD Series, more on that in just a bit, corrections to the extended cab exhaust, and some tweaks to the world editor. Now I have to admit, I haven't personally used the world editor, but these fixes are still part of what makes this update a well-rounded improvement. But let's be honest, we're here for the bigger, more exciting changes. So let's move on to what really stands out in this update. Earlier in September, with update 0.33, we were introduced to the Gavril MD Series, a new set of vehicles that really added some depth to the game. The Gavril MD is a medium-duty truck fitting right in between the D Series and the T Series, and honestly, I think this truck is going to be a game changer for the career mode. It's perfect for deliveries and it has the potential to be an absolute workhorse, especially considering its likely price point, which should be more affordable than the heavy-duty T Series. Now I'm just assuming here, I haven't tested it yet, but from the looks of it, I believe this is a perfect match. One of the standout features of the Gavril MD is the extensive customization options. You can pick from various wheel and tire variants, different cabin setups like the pickup bed and the fifth wheel, which lets you haul large trailers, perfect for those heavier delivery jobs. And as I'm thinking about all this potential, I can't help but get excited about the possibilities for career mode. You'll be able to carry everything from cars to heavy cargo, and the specialized uplifts like logging, cargo boxes, ambulances, and even tankers just add to the flexibility this truck offers. And for those of you who enjoy a bit of chaos, there is even an option to equip the truck with JATO rockets, and while this is marketed as a traffic-destroying machine, I see this as a more practical addition. Maybe if you're stuck on a hill with too much weight and needed that extra push to get over, this could come in handy. It's a fun and functional option and I'm sure we'll all find some creative uses for it. They also released a video showcasing the Gavril MD in action, which I'll let you watch on your own, but is definitely worth a look. Now let's talk about the T Series, which has undergone a full remake. For those of you who love trucking simulators, the devs have added a shorter fifth wheel variant, as well as the new axle configurations including twin steer, tri-drive and passive steering lift options. And get this, there's a 3000 horsepower V8 engine configuration available. That's just insane. Imagine the drag races we can have with that. Truck racing in BeamNG has just leveled up. And it doesn't stop here, we've got some new parts for other vehicles like the Ibishu Pessima and the Hirochi SBR4, which I'm displaying on screen right now. Alongside that, vehicles like the Autobello Piccolina, Brockel Legrand and more have received various fixes and improvements, which really help refine the overall driving experience. And speaking of refinement, the West Coast USA map has also received a good amount of attention. Areas like the Belasco and the Spearleaf shuffleboard logistics have been updated to look cleaner and more polished, making navigation a lot smoother, especially in those busy parking lots where you're trying to pick up and drop off deliveries. The island map also has been enhanced, with improvements to parking, sidewalks, and even redesigned toll booths. And for added realism, Chinatown now has proper Chinese signage, which really adds to the immersion when driving through those areas. There have also been several small bug fixes, like removing floating objects and unused materials, giving the map a more polished feel overall. Now onto the mission system, all the single-player scenarios have been converted into missions, with a full overhaul to make them more engaging. On top of that, 7 brand new missions have been added, including a delivery mission in Italy featuring the new Gavril MD Series, a crawl mission in Johnson Valley, and an evade mission in East Coast USA. There are also 2 new drift missions added to the West Coast USA and 1 more to the industrial site, so for all of you drift fans out there, this update is packed with fresh challenges. One of the standout features of this update is the introduction of a proper drag racing system. You can now drag race both inside and outside of missions, and the system allows you to customize race types for a more dynamic experience. 4 new drag missions have been added to the Grid Map V2 and 2 in West Coast USA, and you can start drag races in free roam without any loading screens. Just drive up to the stage line and you're ready to go. This new system makes drag racing much more accessible and fluid for those of you who want a quick race without downtime. The drift mission type has also seen some big updates. The scoring and combo systems have been rebalanced, making it more rewarding, and new stunt zones with improved visibility have been added. Plus, the ability to create an unlimited number of stunt zones gives you a lot more flexibility when setting up your drift challenges. And now that we have a good overview of what's new, let's jump into the game and experience it firsthand. Unfortunately, career mode is still under development, so once again I've lost all the progress I made in the last session. But you know what? That doesn't bother me at all. When updates of this scale come through, changing everything from vehicles to map, it feels right to start fresh and re-experience the game from the beginning. Naturally, I went through the same process as before, replaying the initial races, but this time I noticed something different in the second race. A van showed up, which wasn't there before. I also tackled with crawling series again, which netted me a nice 15.7k in the bank. One of the first changes I appreciated right off the bat is the vehicle pricing. The cheapest option starts at just 830 bitcoins, and the price differences between vehicles feel much more subtle and human this time around. Now we absolutely have to check out the new delivery system, but before we do that, we need a proper vehicle. In the last video I talked about getting a trailer and upgrading to a slightly more powerful car to handle the weight of the trailer. That's still a solid approach and I stand by it, but with the updated prices we can skip ahead to Tier 2 if you will. Given our current budget, the cargo box truck is an amazing value for money. It offers ample cargo space in the back and it's hands down better than any small trailer. As for trailers, the only one within our budget is the large box utility trailer, but is priced at a hefty 10.3k, and after factoring in the dealership costs, we wouldn't have enough left over to upgrade the car as well. I also saw another box vehicle priced at 13.6k, which is quite a bit more, but after comparing the two, I'm not convinced the other more expensive one is worth it. It has less horsepower, weighs more, and runs on diesel. The only perk is that it's a manual, and I do enjoy driving manual vehicles, and for those of you who are new to the channel, I use a Logitech G29 steering wheel with pedals and a 6-gear shifter, so manual cars really allow me to make full use of my setup. But in this case, I decided to go with the cheaper box truck, which makes more sense overall. After adding in the dealership fees, sales tax, and insurance, the truck's final cost was 12.1k. A solid, sensible decision in my opinion. While waiting for the truck to be delivered, I took a quick look at the offers available on a PC in the back room, and I'm just stunned. The prices are so much lower compared to what we had in version 0.32. There's a truck and trailer combo for 22k that looks like a perfect future goal. It's got tons of power and it's an automatic, which is great for long hauls. Yes, I do love manual vehicles, but when it comes down to trucks in BeamNG, I prefer automatics, mainly because my setup doesn't have 16 gears. In Euro Truck Simulator 2 you can map a button to switch from low to high gears, but I haven't done that yet in BeamNG. All of this has me really excited for the future. The truck's finally here and it's time to equip it with cargo boxes so we can start making deliveries across the city. This part of the patch adds even more customizations, which is always appreciated. Honestly, the menu was a bit overwhelming and without a large budget to test every option, I went with the XL cargo boxes for the front and back, which should be enough to get us started. Conveniently, there's a delivery pickup point right next to our garage, which hasn't changed from previous update, and the visual overhaul of the delivery system is night and day compared to what we had before. It's such a welcome improvement. The new color schemes, slightly background blur, and overall layout make it so much easier to navigate. There's a lot more variety now. Beyond just parcel delivery, you've got options like car jockey, trailer delivery, and even materials transport. Of course, we still have to grind and level up to gain access to the higher tier deliveries, but that's all part of the journey that makes this game so enjoyable. For now, I'll settle with a replacement wheel cargo, just a 2-piece job. Clicking the orange arrow loads the cargo onto the truck automatically. And no matter how many deliveries you sign up for, the automatic route planner ensures you get the best sequence for efficiency, which is a huge time saver. Once you're ready, just click continue and you'll be greeted with a short loading screen that lets you know your cargo is being loaded. Then it's time to hit the road. The traffic AI has been tweaked a bit, but the fixes seem to focus on certain misbehaviors like AI backing into players or leaping off cliffs on the Utah map. For example, the vehicle ahead of me slammed its brakes for no reason, stopping way before the yield sign. My reflexes were quick, but we still tapped it with the back of the car, so traffic AI is definitely still a work in progress. Up ahead, I'm eyeing a Gavril, a vehicle I'd love to have next. I don't think it's too expensive, probably under 10k. It's just a mean looking dual real wheel pickup, and I can only imagine the torque it produces. Though its overall capacity is a bit less than my current truck, it definitely makes up for it in maneuverability. Then came around a second more devastating hit. A van switched lanes with zero warning just before a traffic light, and unfortunately we collided with a stopped vehicle ahead. Thankfully, one of the perks of driving such a large vehicle is that it's extremely durable, and small hits like these, they do no permanent damage. If I were in a smaller vehicle, it could have been much worse. One quick annoyance is that my side mirror got bent in the accident, but luckily there's a simple fix. You just exit the vehicle, walk up to it, and give it a tap to straighten it back out. Problem solved. As we continue driving, you might notice something different about this bridge. The new middle barriers were added in this update, offering a bit more protection against the curious AI that often tries to merge into your lane. And while the AI still tends to brake a bit too early before turns, these barriers are a welcome addition that adds a layer of safety to fast-moving traffic. Speaking of safety, here's a quick pro tip. Always make sure to upgrade your brakes to disc brakes. I've added some helpful widgets on the screen for you, showing information like the gearbox, brake temperature, and pressure applied to each pedal. It's worth noting that my truck has drum brakes on the rear wheels, which support most of the weight. Drum brakes heat up quickly and cool down slowly, so once they hit around 400°C, brake fade becomes a real issue. The green, yellow, and red color coding on the screen helps you monitor the brake temperature and make informed driving decisions, because you might be going too fast whilst having no brakes. Finally, we've arrived at our destination and we're greeted by some new animations. You can skip them if you want, but I like to watch them play out. It's a satisfying way to see your progress unfold, and this sound just makes everything perfect. We've covered quite a bit in this update, but there's always more to look forward to. Our career mode adventures won't stop here. I'm planning to make this into a series. Just a couple more deliveries and we should be able to afford the new Gavril MD Series and many more exciting vehicles. As always, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What's your favorite part of the new update? And what features are you most excited to see next? Let me know in the comments below. And before we go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future updates. Your support on the previous videos has been incredible, and it truly motivates me to keep bringing you content like this. So thank you very much, and until next time, happy driving!